Okay, so Mildred has a bag of coins. The bag contains 10 dimes, 5 nickels, 1 penny. She will randomly select 2 coins from the bag, one at a time without replacing. What is the probability that Mildred will select a dime first and then a penny? So what we're looking for is the probability of a dime, then a penny. Okay, now it does say without replacement, and without replacement, is that independent or dependent?
Dependent.
Dependent. So what does dependent mean?
Alone.
No, it depends on another thing. So when they called for without replacing, that means your total will change. Your total would change. So let's go ahead and find the total first. So you have 10 dimes, 5 nickels, 1 penny. When you add that up, it's going to be 16. So then the probability of choosing a dime first will be 10 out of 16. Then a penny would be 1 out of what?
16.
Not 16, because we did not replace the dime. So it'll be 15, 1 out of 15. Now you're multiplying it. So I'm going to simplify the 10/16 by dividing by 2. So that's going to be 2 out of 8 times 1 out of 15. So 2 times 1 is 2. 8 times 15, that's going to give you what? 15 times 8. So 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. So it is 120. Can I simplify that?
Yes.
By what? So by 2, wait, I did something wrong. Oh, it's 5 out of, that's what I did. Okay, it is going to be 5 out of, it's going to be 5 out of 8 because 10 divided by 2 is not 2. So then that means I have to erase this 2. So that's going to be 5. So now 120, 5 out of 120, so that means it's going to be 1. 120 divided by 5 is going to be what? Anybody?
27.
24. Close. Okay, so in this case, your answer is 1 out of 24, which is letter D. Now, I made a very common mistake that some of us do make, a lot of students make. When you're simplifying, make sure that you're simplifying correctly, because then your answer will be wrong, like we were going to have a wrong answer. Okay, so let's look at the next question. So the next one's asking, the net of a square pyramid is shown in the diagram. What is the total surface area of this square pyramid in square inches? So surface area is what? What is surface area? It's not volume, right?
Area of a surface.
Yeah, the area of the surface, that's what it's called. But if you think about it, it's just the area of all the sides of the shape. Okay, so we know we have a square and 4 triangles. So we have to find the area of each shape. So the first shape is the square in the middle. So we know that that's going to be A equals base times height. So what's the base of the square? What's the base of the square?
64.
Yeah, well, the base, I meant one of the sides. So it's 8 times 8, and that's going to give you 64. It's right there. It's given to you. Okay, so we know the area of the square is 64. Now we're going to find the area of the triangle. And we need the formula A equals half base and height. Okay, so the base will be what for The triangle. What's the base, guys? 8. What's the height? 9. So I could take half of 8, which is what? 4, and then times 9? 36. So that means each of those triangles are 36 square inches. Okay, so all we have to do now is add up all of them. So I know if each of those triangles is 36, all I have to do is multiply 36 times 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 144. Is that my surface area? No, what else am I missing? Yeah, you have to still add 64. So 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So that means the surface area is 208 square inches. And that's how we find surface area. Now, if they would have asked us for lateral surface area, what do we not include? If I want lateral surface area, we do not include what? The base. We do not include the base. So if they were asking for lateral, then it would just be 144. So remember that whenever they're asking for surface area, all you're doing is finding the area of all the shapes and adding them up. We were working with bar graphs, and in bar graphs, we were given a number of certain survey. We were given a total, and then we were trying to find percents of them, right? Is that true? Yeah. Okay. Now, what we're doing today, we are working with circle graphs. Now, with circle graphs, they give you a percent, so then you would need to find out how many students chose that certain item. So that's what we're doing today. We're working with circle graphs. So what I need to do is your handout, you have it, you need to fold it in half. And then once you fold it in half, you have this blank space. What I want you to do is I want you to draw a circle. And then just go ahead and draw this. And that way you could go ahead and put the percentages there. And the reason I'm doing this is because eventually you're going to go ahead and find out what each of those is. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I want you to write the actual equation that we're going to be using. So we're going to go ahead and put part over total. And then you're going to put your percent over 100. So basically when they're giving you a circle graph, they're going to give you the total, and then they're going to give you the percentages in the circle. And then you just go ahead and answer question based on that. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll go ahead and start filling in the inside. Okay, so here we have a circle graph, and it's giving you information in percents. Now it says the manager of a cafeteria took a poll of 150 students to find the most popular lunch. The manager drew a circle graph to display the data. So if you look at it, you have 18% for cheeseburgers, 12% for corn dogs, 28% for spaghetti, 12% for tacos, and it doesn't have a percent of pizza. But is there a way we could find what percent that pizza is? Oh, yeah. How do we do that? Yes, you add up all the percents and subtract it from 100 to give you what percent it's pizza. So is your paper missing that part too? Yeah, okay, just checking. Okay, so let's go ahead and add up the percent so we'll know what percent pizza is. So you have 18 plus 12, that's going to give you 30. Plus 28, that's 58. Plus 12, that's 5, 6, 70. So then pizza would be what? 30. Okay. And that's not really a problem that they'll give you. I think we just made a mistake and forgot that 30%. Okay, so basically they'll give you the percentages, but they don't give you how many students are each. And that's basically what you're gonna do. Because with bar graphs, they give you the numbers and you find the percents, right? With circle graphs, they give you the percents and you have to find the numbers. Now we're also making predictions. So that means the 150 will actually change to another number and you have to predict how much that would be. So basically we're doing kind of the same thing we did with bar graphs, but now we're going backwards. Now we're going to find the numbers when with bar graphs we were finding the percents. So let's go ahead and work on the problems. So here I went ahead and put the circle graph again so you'll be able to see it as we're working, but you don't need to. You have it already on your own paper. So remember this was 30%, so we're going to put it there. Okay, so here's asking, based on the circle graph, how many students chose to eat a cheeseburger for lunch? Okay, so remember, how many total students did we have? Yeah, 150 students. And it does tell you in the problem, make sure you're looking for that because it will always tell you in the problem. Okay, now what we're going to do, I know the total is 150 students. I know that I have to have 100% because that represents the total. And then because they're asking for cheeseburgers, I'm going to go ahead and put 18% there. So we're looking for the part. So again, you do cross products. So we're going to go ahead and multiply 150 times 18. So 8 times 0, 8 times 5, 40. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. Add a 0, 1 times 0, 1 times 5, 1 times 1. Then add them up. So that's going to be 2,700. And now we're going to divide it by 100. So if you actually put this way to show division, you could basically tell what your answer would be. And that would be by crossing out the zeros. So 27 divided by 1 is just 27, right? So that means my answer is going to be 27 students chose cheeseburgers. So we're still using the same process, right? Remember, we've been telling you that a lot of your tests, a lot of your STAR tests, you could use cross products. Remember, if nothing else works, use cross products. So make sure that you remember that. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. The next question says, based on the circle graph, how many students chose to eat pizza for lunch? So that's the 30%. So again, we're setting it up as a proportion. So we have x over 150 is equal to 30 over 100. Remember, as soon as you're giving a percent, that's going to go over 100. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and multiply 150 times 30. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 0. Then do 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 5 is 15. And 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and divide that by 100. So that's going to be 45 students chose pizza or ate pizza. Okay, on the next two questions, They're asking for predictions, because if you notice, they changed the 150 to another number. So it says, if the manager took a poll of 250 students, how many would you expect to choose tacos as the most popular lunch? So instead of putting 150, now you're going to use only the percent and then change the total to 250. So we are going to go ahead and do that, 250. We have X over 250. And we are looking for tacos. Oops. So that's going to be over 100, because that was 12%, so it's 12 over 100. So again, we do cross products. So we're multiplying 12 times 250. So 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, add a 0, and then multiply. So when we do that, we have 3,000, and 3,000 we are dividing it by 100. So I'm going to go ahead and cross two zeros. So 30 divided by 1 will give us 30. So that means 30 students will be expected to choose tacos as the most popular lunch. Okay, on the next one, it says, based on the circle graph, how many more students chose spaghetti than corn dog as their favorite lunch? And guess we were cut off right there. So then, what do we do in this case? Yeah, you subtract, right? So spaghetti and corn dogs. So I know spaghetti was 28. Corn dogs is 12. So when you subtract it, that becomes 16. And they are percents. So when we set it up, we are putting 16 over 100. Now, are we going with the 250 or are we going with 150? 150, because the other one was a prediction. This is still based on the first survey. So let's go ahead and put X over 150 is equal to 16 over 100. So go ahead and multiply 15 times 16. I mean, not 15, 150 times 16. So I got 2,400. And we're going to divide that by 100. So again, we're crossing out those zeros. So 24 divided by 1 will give us 24. So there were 24 students that chose spaghetti more than corn dogs. So basically, circle graphs, all you're doing is using proportions or cross products in order to solve for any given situation. Any questions before you start on your assignment? Okay, so your assignment, like I said, it is 8 questions. You're doing basically the same thing with bar graphs. So if you did not finish yesterday's assignment, you didn't finish it for homework, I suggest you finish that first before you start on circle graphs. Because circle graphs, it's due tomorrow, but also it will be what you would need in order, that will be your first grade next 6 weeks. So they're due tomorrow, make sure you work on it.